First thing the ferry has to do when it casts off in Dominci is to turn around, otherwise it might end up in unwanted places. Definitely there's good music. Oh, nice cabin. Definitely something which was recently upgraded or renewed. I don't know why they didn't let me off first. I gave them €20, but apparently that didn't work. Today I'm gonna take you on a ferry ride from Dominci on island Korčula to Ordović on the peninsula Pelješac. And as you can see right now, we are at the ferry port in Dominci, where I lined up my car waiting for the cars to get off the ferry so that we are allowed to board. Ferry route from Dominci to Ordović is one of the shortest ferry routes in Croatia. The crossing time is only about 20 minutes, and there's lots of daily departure. I think in the summer season above 20 daily departures, and even in the winter season you have around 15 daily ferries in each direction. So it's really no problem crossing here. There's plenty of capacity during the day. The ferry we are sailing with is Svetikeševan, which is the only ferry operating on this route. And as you can see now, they finally got all the cars off the boat. So I think very soon we will be allowed to board it. Time for boarding. So we just have to wait for the young man on the motorbike here to get out of the way. Anyway, for the trip we took here, I bought the ticket directly at the ferry port, which you can definitely do. You can of course also buy them online, which I would probably do if we were on the ferry directly in the main season, where there's much more crowds. But either way, it's absolutely without any problems. You have a ticket which is either scanned, or if you buy it at the port, he will just rip off a strip and then you are allowed to drive onto the ferry. The ferry has a capacity of around 600 cars, so it's 600 people and 100 cars. So it's actually quite a lot, which it can accommodate on one trip. And as you can see, the car deck is basically open. You are not closed in, so it doesn't feel so claustrophobic as many other car ferries where you go down in a closed area with the car. So this is way nicer, definitely. Now we just need to get parked and see if we would be able to open the doors so everybody can get out of the car. Cars parked. Now it's time to explore the ferry a bit. So I will just follow this guy to get up to the upper deck. And I think this one is the main deck, where you have the passenger cabin with air condition, and you have these benches outside, which would probably be full if the weather was better. Anyway, definitely plenty of seating options, so you should not worry about that part. And cars are still coming on. The ferry, we are not yet at the scheduled departure time, so anybody who arrives at the port still has a chance to get on board. let's have a look at the inside area to see how that looks. Definitely there's good music. Oh, nice cabin. Definitely something which was recently upgraded or renewed. So really looks nice. You also have a coffee bar. Yeah, also lots of seating here, and it really looks nice. And I see I'm traveling together with a lot of people which are not from the neighborhood. Now I'm gonna check up the top floor on the ferry to see if there's seating, and there is definitely. You have again here plenty of benches. So let me just go to the other end of the ferry to see if we are ready to cast off. Oh, here there's no benches. Only at the end, yeah. Now it seems like everybody who wanted to board the ferry boarded the ferry. And it's 11 o'clock, which is the scheduled departure time. And wow, well done, Jäätulinja employees. I must say this is what you call leaving punctual. Really good. The first thing the ferry has to do when it casts off in Da Vinci is to turn around, otherwise it might end up in unwanted places. So this is basically what the captain is doing now. As you can see, he needs to use a lot of engine power to get the ferry around. But of course the captain managed to turn the boat and steer us in the right direction. So now this is basically goodbye Korčula, goodbye Da Vinci. It was really nice visit we had on the island, where we stayed in a small village on the middle of the island, in a house surrounded by wine. So we really had a really good holiday, and we are definitely coming back to the island again. I don't know if you saw our video from how we got to the island, where we sailed with Split to Velaluga. If not, please check out that video. Just a few minutes after departure, you will be out in this narrow strait between Korčula Island and the Pelješac Peninsula, and you will be able to see Ortabich in front of you. And if you look to the side, you can see Korčula town. So if you want to take some nice photos, make sure to be outside on the boat just after it departures. Because the ferry is open down to the cars, you can basically keep an eye on your car, you know, and I can see nobody stole my toilet paper in the back window, although this guy coming out of the car looks a bit suspicious. So price for the ferry. So how much does it cost to travel from Da Vinci to Ortabich? Well, we pay, as we were traveling just outside of the main season, we paid around 20 euro in total for the car and 4 passengers. I think if you travel in the main season, it's a bit more expensive, maybe around 30-35 euros. Anyway, when you look up the timetable, you will also be able to find prices online. As you can see, we are now getting closer and closer to Ortabich. The speed is still considerable, but don't worry. The captain decided actually to slow down a bit before we managed to hit the port. So now I went down to the car, and we are ready basically to get off the ferry. And it's always a bit interesting here in Ortabich, because you are driving on a relatively narrow pier until you get to the mainland, as you will see in a few seconds. I don't know why they didn't let me up first. I gave them 20 euro, but apparently that didn't work. So now you see, now we are following the pier here, and I don't know if it's good visible, but it gets pretty narrow here. You at least don't want to have a car coming in the opposite direction. Then it would be really tight. And as soon as you come to the end, you're basically at the port area, whatever you would call it, and you see the cars waiting for us to get off board so that they can board the ferry. And that's basically it. This was the trip from Dominci to Orebich. Hope you enjoyed the trip, and please give it a like, follow our channel, and stay tuned for the next video we're gonna make. Thank you. Bye.